And welcome everyone to the IEMG Spring League Champion Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Coming up in this show, we're going to check in with some of the league champions from the city of San Bernardino, from the pool to the track and even the diamond. The Spring League Champion Show on IEMG starts right now. And welcome everyone to the Spring League Champion Show. In this first segment, we're going to check in with the San Gorgonio boys track and field team, your Sunkist League champions this season. In fact, Derek Matthews, the head coach, the coach of the year in the IE, and they had a couple really standout performers, including a couple relay teams that did very well. Here is San Gorgonio boys track and field. From San Gorgonio Track and Field, we've got Dillon Carolina, and we've also got San G head coach Derek Matthews, your league champions this season. And Coach, let me start with you. We're going to talk about Dillon and also Javen Sawyer and the team as a whole. But, man, winning a league title this year, Coach, were you surprised? Were you expecting it? What were your expectations for this team?
Well, when we started in November, I kind of knew what we had, and I talked to the group, and I told them, I said, we could win the league title, but we're going to have to work a little bit and put kids in the right spot. And I told them some kids are going to have to do some events that they normally don't do to score some points. If we do that, I think we got a chance. And we end up winning it too.
And this was the Sunkist League title, correct?
Yes, it was.
So this is the top league in the Arrowhead Athletic Conference. So you're the best of the best in the conference.
Yes, sir.
So, Coach, let me ask you about the relay teams, because I came out there at San G. I think you guys were going – it was a duel against, I think, Fontana or something like that. And I was like, Coach, how's the team looking? And you went directly to the relays. You're like, man, we have got some really good boys relay teams. Talk about what the relay teams were able to accomplish this season, because you had some really good athletes.
Once again, I knew what I had coming back. I knew I had to plug in one piece to make it work. And I finally got to talk to Sammy that played basketball, and I had seen Sammy last year come out and mess around on the track, and I persuaded him to come out. Once we got him, we took off. I told them we could run 41. The kids didn't believe me at first, but as we start dropping times down at these big meets, they kind of started believing it and got down to that CIF prelims and went 41-80. You know, they were pretty good. They were good.
So, Coach, obviously a big part of these relay teams was Javen Sawyer. And Javen, if people are watching the show, they probably recognize his name from the football field as well. And he was one of the fastest guys in the 100 meters in the entire, CIF Southern section. Were you pleased with what he was able to accomplish this season?
Yes, I was. You don't know the smile I had on my face when I seen that kid win the Division III 100-meter title. We knew that he could do it. We all talked about it. We told him, if you want it, this is the moment to shine here. This is nothing bigger than this. If you want it, go get it. He put it together, and he won. And all of us were excited and happy for him. He worked hard for that.
And, Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think after prelims, he had the second fastest time, right, going into the finals?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so, yes, I mean, what did you tell him after prelims, getting ready for that that championship final in D3?
We just worked on – we didn't really do a lot. We just worked on the start, the beginning of the race, because he's strong at the end. And I told him, if you could get out with the group or just ahead of them, they're going to have a hard time catching you. So we worked on that a lot. And then as we got down there to the finals, he went in the back and was warming up. And I went back there and I just told him, I got a couple words for you. I'm going to leave you alone. Remember the technique in the start that we had? And if you get ahead, don't give it up. And I gave him a high five and I walked off.
And he did the rest.
And he did the rest. Yeah, I mean, it was great.
Well, Coach, I want to get to Dillon Carolina in a second, but I have to ask you first, though, before I get to Dillon, who is the genius that decided to put him in the triple jump?
Me. Yep, me. We did it last year. Last year I seen him do it in practice
Mm-hmm.
one day, and I'm like, man, Dylan, man, you could triple jump. So we let him do it a couple times last year, and then I told him this year that's going to be one of your events. I had to drop him off the 4x4 because him and Javen ran on our 4x4. Our 4x4 could have won the league as well, but we chose to let those two do two individual races, and we still were competitive in the 4x4. But yeah, Dylan is like phenomenal in the triple jump.
Yeah, I had the honor of interviewing Dylan at I think at the same Faux High meet, and I was asking about the triple jump, and you were telling me, he's already got one of the best marks in D3 in the Southern section. And I asked Dylan, I'm like, oh man, you must have been doing this for a while. And he's like, no, not really. I just kind of dabbled in it last year and took it seriously this year. So.
Yeah, yep. So,
well, Dylan, let me ask you: are you pleased with your triple jump this season?
I was pretty happy. I just was super disappointed when I got to Masters. Like I feel like I could have definitely made it to state, but it just wasn't a good triple jump day. My knees just kept buckling in every time I got to my second phase, and I just like wasn't really in it mentally. Like I really wasn't in the right state of mind, so it kind of threw me off. But overall I was grateful for the experience. I'm glad I got to do it. I'm glad I got to find that I'm actually good at something else besides hurdles. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased though. Otherwise,
it sounds like too it opened up some doors for you. Obviously, you're a fast kid, and you found a niche with the hurdles, but with the triple jump too. Like, do you think that combination was what you're able to get a college scholarship? You're going to Stanislaus, Stan State. I mean, do you think being able to do several different events was kind of appealing to Stan State, the Warriors?
Yeah, I think that like being able to be versatile and be able to do different things besides just being a one trick pony, like it definitely got my name more out there and had other coaches more interested in me. Like, so I feel like that was a good attention bringer for me to actually learn how to triple jump.
So, Dylan, we talked about this during that interview I did with you a couple months ago that you're still relatively new to this event, the triple jump. Do you feel like there's still a lot of, room for improvement, that you can still grow in this event?
Oh, so much, so much. I feel like when I really get like way more stronger, build more muscle in my knees, and actually learn how to get even more proper technique, I feel like I could jump 49, 50.
Would you say that's your strongest event now?
I would say it's kind of like it may be a little higher than the 110s, or the 110s might be a little higher. Like they're almost pretty even, but it's just kind of like whoever would like it would be like an opinion of difference. Like whoever thinks I'm better at what, like it's not really like a for sure 100% I'm better at this than that. It just would be like what people differ from.
Dylan, going back the last several years, just like Javen, your name has been synonymous with our football show because you've been on there a bunch. Did you ever think that you would be going to college for track? Did you always think, hey, I'm probably going to be playing football in college, or but now you're a track guy?
I feel like deep down in my heart, I always knew I was going to go for track. Like even like my old teammates that graduated, I remember sophomore year, he was my teammate Tay. He was telling me, you're to go to college for track. I was like, nah, that's probably gonna be football. He's like, you're going for track, bro. I already know it. And yeah, here we are.
So, Dylan, you guys won the Sunkist League championship, and obviously that strong core of athletes on the boys' side, including you and Javen. Duran, obviously, as well. What was it about this group? Were you guys pretty tight knit? I know a couple of you guys are football guys as well. I mean, was this kind of a tight knit group? Would you say this season?
Yeah, like basically all my teammates were just like brothers. Like I hang out with we're not just school friends. Like I hang out with them all the time after school. We go to each other's houses. We play games together. Like we're pretty tight knit. Like I consider those not even as friends. Those are like my brothers.
And Dylan, finally, when football season ended, do you go right into track, or do you take any time to kind of rest a little bit, or is Coach Matthews like, no, let's do this?
I believe I took a week's rest for after football, and then straight into winter championships. We just straight winter season, just work short stuff, 60-meter hurdles, 150, 300, stuff like that. Because like we do that to keep us like in decent shape until we get into the actual season, and then we start off pretty well, and like as the kickoff season starts.
All right, well, Dylan, congratulations on a great season. Let me go back to Coach to wrap things up. Coach, when you look back at this year, what are you going to remember about this year's team or this year's season? What was memorable to you, Coach?
The main thing that sticks out to me is the drive of these kids, the determination. They did not want to lose. They wanted to be at the top track meets, Arcadia, Mount Sac, Inland Empires. They didn't just want to be there. They wanted to be in the mix and put their name in the mix, and they did that. You know, they did a great job. This has to be one of the best years for me, especially being a first-year head coach, coming in as the head coach the first year. I couldn't ask for no more, and I probably wouldn't have won Coach of the Year for the Inland Empire without these kids for what they did. So I take my hat off to them, and I'm real appreciative.
Well, and that's the last thing, Coach, because you finished your season, and it was a great season. You know, Dylan and Javen are both going to be running in college, which is awesome. Yeah. And then we get the news that you're the Inland Empire Coach of the Year. I mean, it's like everybody wins, man. Your athletes are going on. You got the big award. It's great.
Yeah, I was shocked. You know, like I said, Pep, I didn't even really know I even won that. Somebody texted me and told me congratulations, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And they were like, "You don't know?" And I said, "No, I don't. What are you talking about?" They said, "You're the Inland Empire Coach of the Year." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" And sure enough, they sent me the stuff, and I seen it. And I'm humbled with that. I don't take that lightly. That's not something that you just get. They don't just give you that. You know, I'm humbled, and I'm giving it all. This wouldn't be possible without the coaching staff that I have. I have the best coaching staff for track and field, I think, out in high school. Sam Dodd. I got Coach Jay, Dylan's mom. I got Pablo and Chuck Sanchez. Oh, yeah. Those guys put in a lot of work and effort behind the scenes with everything we do. So I have to give it up for them. This wouldn't be possible if I didn't have them.
Yeah, and you went up against some great programs. I'm thinking like Roosevelt, like the Vista Murriettas, like those kind of programs. Rancho Cucamonga.
And, and to top it off, this is probably one of the best things I'll highlight this. At the CIF finals, we end up taking third overall in the 4x1. We only lost out to Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame, and Chaminade. Those are two juggernauts. And trust me, we pushed them to the gill. So from where we came from last year to where we're at now, we're in the upper echelon. And like I told them, the bar is set here high now, and we got to keep it going.
Well, Coach, congratulations on all the success. Dylan, you as well, man. Great year, and
Thank you.
Congrats to going to Stanislaus, man. We're very excited for you. Congratulations to Coach Matthews and the guys on a great season. Now we go from track to the pool. When we come back here on the Spring League Champion Show, we'll keep it at San G as we check in with the girls swim team. That's next here on the Spring League Champion Show on IEMG.